All right, guys, how's it going? Now, before we get into this video, I will be live on here at 2 o'clock this afternoon and 7 o'clock this evening if you want to come along for an answer. Now, we have some Virgil van Dijk news. I'm not really sure you can call it news. I'm going to let you decide. Let me know in the comments section as to whether you think the headline for this particular news article, which was in the Mirror newspaper, whether you think the headline is on point, right? Virgil van Dijk makes Liverpool contract vow after turning down Saudi Arabia riches. And the intro to that, or the first sentence of the article, Virgil van Dijk has revealed for the first time that he wants to sign a contract extension with Liverpool that will keep him at the top of his game for the next World Cup. All right. So Virgil van Dijk makes Liverpool contract vow, right, after turning down Saudi Arabia riches, and he's revealed for the first time he wants to sign a contract extension. We're now going to read his exact quotes. So I'm cutting out all the blurb around the article, which is what I always do in an article. I always say to you guys, I always read the quotes, what's being said, and don't focus too much on the headline and the blurb around, because obviously journalists can spin it a particular way, influence you. Even the photograph can make someone look evil or angry or sad or happy. Do you know what I mean? So try and shut all that out. So let's go with the quotes. At both teams, I am still Virgil van Dijk, the big leader, and I certainly want to remain that for the next 2 years. I am human. I have emotions too. You start thinking all kinds of things, especially just after a game like the elimination in the very last minute. We're talking about the Euros. Do you remember when he spoke after it, where he was a little bit, he didn't sound too good, did he, about committing to Liverpool and things like that. And, you basically know what he's about. And obviously he just lost and just been dumped out of the competition. Losing to England would have made it even worse, I'm sure. So he wasn't in a good place to be commenting about his future at the time. And he's addressing that here, just in case you're wondering. I also understand that it came across unclear on how I stood in all of this, because after the match I was so disappointed and full of emotion. It perhaps came across as if it had been my last international match. I did have doubts that night, and I did hint at that. It's very good that I went on holiday the next day, was able to spend time with my children and my family, which is the most important thing in my life. I was able to share it, and then very quickly things calmed down. It was a very long and intense season last year, including the Euros. I focus on the team and the boys so much. I always try to talk, and I'm constantly busy with everyone. I've had that responsibility for years. As captain, it's the team first and then yourself. But it should not be at the expense of your own performance. In my opinion, I have always managed that very well. When I'm in a bubble during the European Championship, I feel very responsible for all sorts of things that can sometimes bring some difficult moments. Did that come at the expense of my game? I am someone who does not look for excuses easily, and I am realistic. From a footballing point of view, it could have been better personally. I have come to that conclusion. Not that things went badly, not at all, but the expectations are very high, and I wasn't able to live up to that. The moment I started talking to the national coach, I was already fine with it. It is quite normal that the national coach and the captain make an analysis about how the European Championships went. But it is also about the confidence you get, and you look at your own ability and ask whether you are still important enough. I'm very much important on and off the pitch. I don't like to say that about myself, but I am. The responsibility at the club and at the national team is still super big. Now, you're probably thinking, yeah, right, all right, so where's the Liverpool contract vow? Do you know what I mean? Because that's what I thought when I read it. I was like, I actually went back to the article and went through it again. I was like, what have I missed? Have I missed something out here? Because it says revealed for the first time he wants to sign a contract extension. He never mentioned a contract extension. He never made a vow. The only bit I can see from this, which is clutching a little bit, but let's just go over it a bit. At the very beginning, at both teams, I am still Virgil van Dijk, the big leader, and I certainly want to remain that for the next 2 years. All right, so that's what they're spinning as the Liverpool contract vow, if you like. For me personally, he is saying that he wants to be the big leader for the next 2 years. I think he's talking more international about his international future here, because it talks about, people thought that maybe I was going to retire. It's literally all about the international stuff. And of course, that's why he's speaking about, the international stuff with this international break and everything. There is no vow about staying at Liverpool. There's no vow about, revealing that he wants to sign a contract extension. Those words are not used. It just depends how you want to interpret them, right? You know what I mean? Like, he wants to be... He did say both clubs at the very beginning, right? Didn't he? At both teams, I am still Virgil van Dijk and the big leader. Now, the next bit, and I certainly want to remain that for the next 2 years, is he saying I still want to be at the top of my game, a big leader for the next 2 years for the Netherlands? Or is he also including the clubs from the previous sentence? Do you know what I mean? It really is one of those where it could go either way, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? And I'm not like trying to, depress anyone or anything. I'm not trying to sensationalize anything. It just depends how it is. At both teams, I'm still Virgil van Dijk, the big leader. And I certainly want to remain that for the next 2 years. So he wants to be the big leader. But the 2 years bit is obviously is in reference to his international future, right? He's not saying I want a 2-year deal at Liverpool. And he just talks purely about international football throughout this, really. So the reason I'm making the video is because you might have seen, today, headlines like Virgil van Dijk. Let's stick to exactly what it said and not guess what it said. Virgil van Dijk to make Liverpool contract vow after turning down Saudi Arabia riches. No mention of the Saudi Arabia at all. And Virgil van Dijk has revealed for the first time he wants to sign a contract extension with Liverpool. But it doesn't really say any of those things. So it really is just like, is that what he's saying? You know what I mean, don't you guys? But you might see these numpties on here today trying to tell you that he's going to sign a new contract. Now, will he sign a contract or not? I don't know. I suspect he will stay with Liverpool. So, yeah, I hope you understand what my intentions are here, all right, with this video. If I'm reading an article that says player makes contract vow, revealed he wants to sign a contract extension, I want to read that, My personal view is he's talking more about his international future. He wants to play for the next 2 years as a leader, but he does mention club as well at the beginning. So, and to be the leader of, the Netherlands or the captain of your international team, then you obviously have to be leading at your other club as well, right? Because if you're not playing club football, you ain't going to be doing well. You're not going to get into the international fold. But it could be any club, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, but I will just add that I do think he will sign a new contract with Liverpool. I do think that will happen. All right. It's still squeaky bum. This stuff should have been resolved a long time ago. But yeah, I just wanted to bring you up to date just in case you see those claims today. All right, guys. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. If you have a thought about the reporting of that, and I don't know, what do you feel? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think you'll agree with me, to be honest. Please do drop a comment. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, hit the super thanks button. It's the love heart under the video. And if you want to use another method instead of that, read the video description. There's other ways as well that you can support me and my channel. All right, guys. And it might be an idea to jump on the mailing list, the newsletter that I do, because I put a lot of opinion out in there that sometimes I don't put in my videos. And it's completely free to join. And now that the transfer window's closed, it's my intentions to go to the cafe in the morning, like I was doing with the papers, but go and work on my newsletter and stuff, and I don't sell you anything in there, and I don't give your email address to anybody else, all right? It's just another way of us all being together. All right, guys, take it easy, and I hope that I'll speak to you real soon. 2 o'clock this afternoon and 7 o'clock tonight.